Hey, it's Mother Funny Time with Andie and Angie.
2 cousins, 8 kids, 1 grandkid, 2 states.
And a whole lot of fun. Woo! Welcome back, Mother Funny Tribe. It's Angie and Andy. Do you remember the very first night of Maycember? That's my song for you. Can market it.
Speaking of songs, do you remember, how do you pronounce their name? Like the Holderness family? It was like 6 years ago when they came out with that, like, It's Gonna Be May. They were the ones, I don't want to say they were the ones who started it, but when they came out with that video, it was like mind-blowing. It was like, oh my gosh, you're right. There's so much to do in May. But that was an incredible song. And every year, everybody is either singing it or has listened to it. And they've done other songs, but they're not as good as the It's Gonna Be May song. In my opinion.
It's gonna be May.
Amazing.
I'll have to listen to it.
Have you not seen it? I'm sure you have. Everybody has seen it. I'm sure you've seen
everybody's
it.
Seen
Everybody, yes.
Obviously. I've seen it. I watched the Holderness family on The Amazing Race. They were on The Amazing Race.
I want to see that season. I have not seen that season. I'll catch an Amazing Race here or there, and I do want to see that one. It was a little behind on the times.
Because May is so busy.
It's Maycember, and we're talking about Maycember mamas because, as Andy just said, May is busy. It's busy for everyone, but I think it's a little bit busier for moms. Or maybe a whole lot busier.
Yeah. Because we're buying a lot of the things that are needed. We're making the plans. If there's parties, we're doing that. Yes, we're enlisting the help of our spouses. It's not like we're doing it all on our own, but even some maybe yes, some maybe no.
Just kidding.
But especially when you have a big graduation, it's just so much. And then the teachers who like to put big projects in at the end of the year, you're like, read the room.
Read the room.
We can't. Nobody's got time for this. But you get it. Like, kids need to learn, apparently, and do well.
In college, they gave us the final the week before finals. Smartest thing ever, because we all actually studied and learned the material, because when it's finals, you're just cramming. I mean, You've been working on it. You've taken your tests. You've done all the projects. You've done everything. And then in May, you're like studying, especially those teachers who like give you a test. And then the next week, they give you the final. It's like, come on, we just took the test.
Project. Shiloh's had so many, or my kids in general, so many projects and then tests. Like, okay, the big semester project is due, and now finals. But yeah, there's been teachers who've done that for our kids too. Just like, we're gonna do this early so you have time to really study, and that's always appreciated. I mean, teachers are overwhelmed too. Teachers, we see you, we hear you, we love you. You take care of the kids. You teach them. You've been working hard. I'm sure you're exhausted. Looking forward to summer break as well.
Teachers perform miracles every single day. And then it's May, and it's like extra miracles. And if they're moms, they're dealing with the May activities also. Like they're dealing with being a mom, they're dealing with all their children's May stuff, and they're teaching, and they're also organizing and cleaning and packing up their classroom.
And if they're a homeschool mom, it's only for their kids, but for the most part, but they're still like, especially now that homeschooling is growing more and more, like there's tons of things the homeschool world has for moms to do, and fun things, and all the different experiences and shows and blah, 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 blah. And then at the same time, you're trying to prep your stuff for next year. You need to, you have your plan of curriculum you have to turn in. Like if you're with the charter, then you're turning in your stuff that you use that year to the district, and then you're getting, your plans for your new stuff. It's a lot. It's scary. Because if you especially if your kid's graduating somewhere, if you don't turn in like their list of things you have to turn in, they'll hold your diploma or whatever. Like they don't mess around. That's a lot of pressure. And even like library books. You don't want to try to leave a school with library books. I'm like, can you just give me a bill? We'll figure it out. But yes, it's a lot. So we see you. You guys are tired. You might not even know how tired you are because you're just so busy moving around.
And as you're working through all of that, you're also supporting your kids through all the change. And like we talked about, through your children experience the excitement, but also some of the sadness. And moms are excited and moms are a little sad, but they can't be too sad because they still have to support their kids and do all the things.
Too sad.
And you can't wallow, but you can be in the moment. Part of it, though, is also within May. And I think moms might struggle with this the most in December and in May. I could be wrong, and I have no evidence to support this except for my own life, in the sense of setting realistic expectations. That can be challenging in May, and that can also be challenging in December. So, Andie, as a mom with 3 kids and a grandson, as you worked through being a homeschool mom, but also you were a public school mom, charter school mom, like you've done the schools. Like Andie knows the school system.
I've done it all.
Now a college mom, college graduate mom. Like, what helped you set realistic expectations for the month of May? Even in, like, say you're in April and you're like, oh, May's coming. I got to prepare for May. Was there certain strategies that kind of helped you?
I would say younger me was just in survival mode and just made it through. Like, I was just going every day. And you know, when we did live in Mississippi, I didn't have as much because we were homeschooling and it wasn't a big thing there. So we had other kids, but we're kind of on our own. But there was still the curriculum thing. And because I was on my own. Time
out. Real quick. You might want to clarify. You watched other kids, not that you had kids.
Oh, okay.
How did you do it? Oh my gosh. Okay, everyone who's just listening, you have to check us out on YouTube to find out. Andie somehow can cause fireworks. She creates fireworks. We don't know how
it happens.
That was amazing. I can randomly do a thumbs up.
Let's see if it does it.
Here it is. I can do that. Somehow Andie has fireworks.
And I keep trying to make it happen. If I try, it won't. But anyway. Okay, so yes, I watched other kids. And no fireworks. I
just didn't want people to think
that I had random kids. I'm like, I'm done with these guys. Give me some new ones. No, I homeschooled 2 other children. I said that funny. Children. And also,
it's the fireworks that caught you up.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, my May, I don't even have kids well, I have a child in college. And yet my May is packed. And one of the things, but it's not fun things like awards and things. I had a root canal. And I'm dealing with tooth stuff. And it's a front tooth.
Oh, bummer.
I can't even, it's a whole thing. I clenched my jaw, I messed things up. Anyway,
you're not slurring your words. You're doing great.
I know, but I randomly will hit it. So, oh, yeah, Shiloh needs to, like, we're packing up and moving her out in like a week and a half. Disney, we have some Disney plans. I'm watching my nephew. There's a lot. I ran a marathon in May. Mother's Day,
shout out.
So
with all of that, because you have so much going on, which really I just want to say is not any type of encouragement for us moms who are extra busy with little ones. You're like hoping like one day May will not be as crazy. And it's like, no moms. Sorry. Maycember moms. You're going to be a Maycember mom forever.
Yeah, because then you get your kids through college. I mean, it's not as much, but then you're going to have grandkids. They're going to be a Maycember grandma.
Okay, so with all of that, because you were talking before all the fireworks, that you were kind of in survival mode.
I keep trying to make the fireworks happen. Yes, I was in survival mode, but I would say now, like I had mentioned in the last episode, that now I really try to, to manage my expectations. Like I'll have my idea, like say I'm planning a party or I have all these things I want to do, and I'll make my list, but I'll realize like, okay, what can I take off? Or what realistically is it okay if I don't do or don't attend or don't, whatever it is. Like maybe laundry is just going to drop off a little bit, or maybe, like some of the other things in the house, like it's just going to be what it is, and it's okay. Maybe, I don't get to get, I want to say I don't get to get coffee, but that's not true. I get more coffee the more I have to do, because again, I like treats. I'm a big fan of treating yourself. Try to find a way to like whatever motivates you, like do that. And think about it, plan ahead of time. Like I remember, even now to this day, I do not enjoy grocery shopping. I used to, but now I do not like it. Before I would go and it was a huge treat to get a coffee and walk around and buy my groceries. And that was a motivator. Now I am like, once you get to a certain age, you've made dinners and lunches and breakfast for like 23 years. You're like, or how old is 27? I don't know. I've been married 27 years. Like you're like done. You're like, I don't want to grocery shop anymore. I don't want to think about food anymore. I don't want to plan these things. And so I literally have to make myself treats to like get out and do those things. Or I find a good deal, like Instacart will have a good deal. And yes, I could go to the grocery store, but sometimes I'm like, you know what, this week we're going to Instacart and it's okay. It's going to cost a little more. I'm going to have to leave a tip. It's okay. So those are some of my tips.
That's great. Cross some things off your list if they're not a necessity. Give yourself grace. Sometimes you'll get the job done or the thing done the next day. I mean, it's true, because what would you rather do? And what's more important, for you to be there at your child's field trip in May, or for you to get all the laundry done? Like, okay, no, go to the field trip, participate, be there for your child, enjoy that experience with them. Laundry can wait till the weekend. That totally makes sense. It's almost like you're prioritizing. Like within all of this that I have, what's the most important? What do I need to be at? What do I want to be at? What do my children want me at? And some moms...
That's a big one. What do your kids want to be involved in, and what do they want to be at? I mean, because kids are different. And this is talking too to like high school moms, but when you have proms and dances, I was always like, all right, let's do this. And Shallow's like, nah, I didn't want. And I would like try to make a big thing. And she's like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, okay. Like I had to think, okay, who is this for? This is for the kids. What do they want to do? What do they want me to be at? Like
everything. Yeah. Your kid wants you to be at everything.
If
right?
they do, I will be there. Of course. I want to be at everything. But it is a good conversation to have if you're like, okay, I am so busy. These are the things I want to be at. Like, I am your biggest supporter. I'm your biggest fan. Which of these are the most important things for me to be at? Because if something, if I can't make them all, I want to make sure I'm at the ones you want me at. And it's okay to miss something. There's so many things. You can miss something.
You can miss some things, or possibly say no. Like you're mentioning, if your child doesn't want to go to that activity, that's okay. Then you don't participate and you say no to that. I think so many moms, especially in May, I'm also going to say December, but we'll say within Maycember, we want to say yes to everything, but to know like it's okay to say no. It's okay to not go to those activities, like you're saying, if your child doesn't want to go, or it's okay to set those limits or to have those boundaries or to say, we're going to go to this instead of that. I mean, it's huge, but it's hard, especially when you're like, everybody else is doing this. But to say, well, actually, Or when two things land on the same day, same time.
Yeah.
Working with your kid, figuring that out, prioritizing. Because sometimes as moms, we want our kid to do both. So it's like, okay, we'll go to the first part of this party, then we'll leave that and then go to the second part of this party. We try to like double stack things, and get to both parties or get to both events. And sometimes to say, okay, it's Maycember. I know in April we could have done that, but it's May. We have to choose one. We have to say no to one and to be okay with that and not have the mom guilt or the mom shame that we're not at that specific event.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely important to be at anything where there's other parents, because I think that makes a child feel lonely. Like if there's a lot of other parents there and your parent isn't there, don't be shamed if you can't. Like sometimes you just can't. And that's the thing. But if you can, like if there's a lot of other parents, I've been to things that didn't have parents, and that was also wrong.
Oh no.
I didn't know. Freshman volleyball tryouts, I showed up and sat there, and it was me and one other mom, and the other mom's like, yeah, we're not supposed to do this. And I'm like, we sat there like the end court, and I'm like, so I'll see you tomorrow. She's like, I'm not coming back tomorrow. I'm all, oh, so we're not supposed to be here.
Really? You were like the moms? Did you cheer for everybody though? Maybe the kids were excited.
I was quiet. I was quiet. It was high school volleyball tryouts. There's no cheering. It's different. Yeah. I didn't know. So it was me and one other mom. And I'm like, Shy, do you want me to go? She's like, no, do not go.
When you're at the tryout and you realize it's only you and this other mom, and Shiloh has realized it's Shiloh's mom and one other mom, was she giving you like the look like, Mom, you can go? Like, was she looking at you or like waving like, bye, Mom, see you later? Take the hint.
If she was, I was so like shell shocked. I don't think I would have noticed. I was there. So yeah, it's a good point. Make sure. And then what do you do if you have kids with things on the same day in different grades? Have you had that?
Yes. I mean, for the twins, they have their award ceremony at the same time, and our twins are in 2 different classes. So the teachers every year work together, and one will show like the video montage like I told you about first, and then the other one will do the awards first, because the main thing is that the parents want to be there when the child receives an award. So we do that, and like I work with the teachers too, and they kind of tell me like, here's the game plan. Or it's also helpful like Ryan to be there. Last year we had Brooklyn, she was on campus. We're like, hey, you come, and like if there's grandparents, like this year I think my mom's gonna be there, maybe my dad, because it's like you want your child to have at least one parent or one person that they love there. So it does get tricky with twins for sure, because ours are in 2 different classes. When it comes to like field trips or field day, for example, like the 2nd grade class is all together, so they'll just put my twins together. Or if it is at different times, I mean, there's been like end of like the last day of school where there's events all day long. I'll literally get there and there'll be a group of us. If we have moms of like kids with different, if we have kids who are in different grades, we will get there right before school starts and we will stay till the end of school. And we all know, because we're going to be here at this, end of the year party, and then we're going to this school assembly, and then we're going to this signing, and so all of us know, like we all show up, we're like, yeah, we're here all day. Like this is just going to be an all day type of a thing. And you know it, and you do it, and you like it. I mean, it's fun, and it's exciting to see your kids celebrate, help them if they're a little sad, but also to be part of it and to take pictures too, which everybody knows I like pictures. But this is their pictures with their friends. And how many times now, like Riley is in 8th grade, but when I go back and I'm looking like, oh my gosh, look at you and your friends, and you're in 2nd grade, and now you guys are all in 8th grade. Like it's fun to have that time with them, but to also like capture it so you can have it forever
and ever. Okay, so you have a child going into high school. How does that feel?
Dude, I'm not ready for that. there's going to be a graduation that's coming up, which we're super excited about.
I was going to say, I've been talking about graduations. You have a graduation.
I asked Riley the other day, I was like, do you need a dress? Like, what are you planning to wear? Like, do we need to get you something? Like, it's exciting. I think it's a big deal. I'm actually more excited for her than I am sad. Like, she's had a great experience in middle school. I know middle school is hard. Middle school is hard for everybody. She's had an excellent, incredible middle school experience. So I think I'm really excited to celebrate that she's had an incredible 2 years, especially after like all that she's been through over the past 4 years. So I'm excited to celebrate that. I think it's going to hit me when I'm sitting there. Like, oh my gosh, like you're in high school. I think that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
One of the hardest times was like we talked about in the past, like when it was cheer tryouts for the high school. And I just had to like pull up to the high school and like she got out of the car and she like left. I did not go in my chair. I did not go and sit and watch the cheer tryouts.
Smart. Good move. Good move.
They might have actually sent an email. Parents, you're not allowed. Do not
I didn't know how I had homeschooled up to that point. I didn't know how the public school system worked.
So I think that was a big moment of like, oh my gosh, I'm dropping her off at the high school and this is where she's going to go to school next year. I mean, she has a dance recital next week. So again, we've already, I think within the middle school years, they do a lot at the high school. And I think it helps prepare the kids. I think it really helps prepare the parents. Like, there will be a day when your child will go there. But part of it too, as we are in Maycember and as we're working through it, it is good for moms to talk about because moms can get so overwhelmed, like we mentioned in the previous podcast, or moms can get so stressed out, or moms could even feel like they're so alone, or like maybe they're trying to catch up to everybody. But to find that friend or person you can share with and be like, hey, how are you handling Maycember? What are you going through? Or did you know that there's an event? Like moms, we got to help each other out too with like, hey, did you make sure tomorrow your child wears their bathing suit because it's splash day? You know, I think there's like the whole Maycember mom like community too, as we're like going through this all together.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. And I maybe even like moms who you know are going through like an extra busy season, maybe their mom who has several kids, or you just know, or maybe they're a teacher mom, whatever it is, maybe getting them some like DoorDash or like takeout restaurant gift cards so that at least they don't have to deal with like dinner as well, or grocery shopping or something, you know, little nail salon gift card, something to help them get through. But I think even like, I think most moms, regardless of age, stage in life, a lot of moms, and certainly not all, but a lot of moms are the main dinner preparers, right? And it becomes so monotonous. You can plan, I mean, even if it's simple or if it's takeout, whatever it is, like, I need your help with dinner in May because that's the hardest. I saw, you know, what's so funny is I've had this discussion with my family for a long time, especially when they would all live here. And I'm like, what do you guys want for dinner? And they're like, I don't know, whatever, mom. And I'm like, it's not helpful because I'm running out of ideas. I am so bored of cooking the same things. I need more ideas. They're like, and then they'll think of something and it was complex. I mean, I love that they like what I make. I love that. And I love that they like to eat at home. But I would be like, you guys, I just can't. I saw, who was it? Was it like Aretha Franklin? An interview before she passed. And they're like, what is the hardest thing about being where you are as a woman? And she's like, honestly, what I'm going to have for dinner. And I was like, yes.
She gets it. She gets it.
Yes. So Maycember, have some kind of, maybe do like, what are those, like HelloFresh, those like meal service kits. That's my biggest tip or trick.
You also in the last podcast mentioned like how much money we're spending in the month of May. And maybe part of the budgeting is saying like, hey, I know we're going to go out to eat a lot in May. Or maybe it's we're going to have pasta 3 times a week. So you're not spending as much money.
Yeah, that's right. We are having leftovers. Oh, I'm making one giant pot of spaghetti for the whole week. And then we're done.
And that's what we're doing. And part of it too, just for moms, is I know everyone's into like working out, which can be a stress reliever. and it's so healthy for you. But also, like, if exercising in the month of May is really difficult, you're struggling to like find time, it's okay to take a month off or to maybe not work out as much as possible.
Yeah, true story, because I was training for the half, and like 2 weeks before, you're supposed to start tapering off, and so that the week before your run, like, you're not running very much to keep your, like, get your body ready. Well, we had so much stuff come up, and we couldn't, like, my husband and I couldn't train, and I was like, man, I almost didn't do this marathon, and I'm like, I have to at least run 10 miles to make sure I can do it. So the week of, I did 17 miles, like 7 miles on Monday, 10 miles on Wednesday. And then I got to race day and my asthma was so bad.
Oh, no.
I made it. We finished. Everything was great. We did it. Chris was like, I feel great. But Chris never tried to, he didn't do any of the running. He
really?
didn't do any. Yeah, the most he had run before that was like 4 miles. He got to half marathon day and he was like all excited and like riding, and I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, I'm like puffing on my inhaler, like trudging along. I'm like, man, I shouldn't have done those 17 miles. So my body needed rest. And even today, I tried again to do a workout, and I've done this specific workout many times. And sometimes I'm super like into it and really at it. And then sometimes I'm slower. This time I felt like I was dying. Like halfway through, I'm like, no joke, your body needs rest. Like it has to. Maybe because I'm 47, you have to rest. Like, it's okay if you have to take some rest time. We're out of time though. Again,
that keeps happening. Well, 2 more strategies real quick. This has been great. Practicing mindfulness, and because it's Mother Funny Podcast, and the one strategy that is through and through, which Andie and I don't really do, is journaling.
We got to get those journals. Our Mother Funny Don't Shit on Yourself journals.
Yes! Oh,
that's what we're going to do. We're going to do Don't Shit on Yourself journals, and then you can journal the things you need to do, and you'll be reminded, I don't have to should anything. I just do what I need to do. Should.
And don't should on others.
Don't shit on others.
Don't should on yourself. It's the best thing ever.
Oh, Jandy, we're so thankful for you.
Shout out.
Okay, so if you're somebody else who doesn't want to shit on yourself or others, like us, share us, follow us on YouTube to see. Let's see if I can get the fireworks again. Then you can see the fireworks. Ready?
I don't think you can. It is so amazing. You guys have to check us out on YouTube because it's hilarious how she creates fireworks unintentionally.
I could do the thumbs up.
You unintentionally create fireworks. There you go. All right, guys.
All right, bye. All right, that's all we have time for today. We got to wrap it up, unfortunately. But just remember, you might think you're doing just okay, but we think you're doing really great.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope you have a great Mother Funny day. Please like and share our podcast.
But please don't tell our moms.